Alright, so the last little section of this topic is about nominal and effective interest rates. Now, nominal interest rate is the interest rate that the question gives you. So when you read the question and it says, 4.5% compounding annually, that is what we call the nominal interest rate. So the nominal interest rate is the interest rate that's given to you. Interest rate given. Okay, it's part of the question. So for example here, an investment account will pay interest at the rate of 3.6% per annum. So the 3.6% per annum is the nominal interest rate. Okay. Regarding this question, it says 3.6% per annum, which means 3.6% per year. Okay. If the question asks you to convert this interest rate to monthly rate, all you have to do is simply divide it by 12 because you're going from per year to per month, which makes sense, hopefully, to most people. That 3.6 divided by 12, which gives you 0.3% per month. Okay. Now, if you haven't copied it down, or you don't know how many days there are in a year or how many weeks, please make sure you copy this part down, which is there's 12 months, 4 quarters, 26 fortnights, 52 weeks, 365 days. Okay, please have that in your book or have that memorized. Okay, so page 292, the 12 months, 4 quarters, things like that. Make sure you have it in your book. If you think you might forget, then definitely write them down. Okay, I don't want any excuses in that. Oh, I can't remember how many weeks there are in a year, because I'm telling you to write it down in your book. Okay. Alrighty. So that's nominal interest rate, as you can see here, just reading the textbook. Sometimes it is good to read the textbook. There's a lot of information there, but it's good to have a quick skim through. As it says here, compound interest rates are usually quoted as annual rates or interest rate per annum. This rate is called the nominal interest rate for the investment or the loan. Okay, so as you can see, that's what I was talking about. The nominal interest rate is generally the interest rate that is given to you in the question. Alright, the next thing is about effective interest rate. Now, the reason why we do effective interest rate is because we want to use it to compare interest rates. Okay, now effective interest rates. Okay, now to use something as an example, let's say for example you got 80% in English and you got 73% in maths. Okay, looking at those two percentages, you could say that you did better in English because you got 80%. But there's a lot of other factors that you kind of need to think about. Maybe the English SAC was easy and everyone got high scores. Then technically your 80% isn't that great. Let's say that the average score for that English test, average was 85%. And then the maths one, the average was 50%. So now you've got a bit more information and you can put it into perspective now. You didn't do so great in the English test, didn't you? Because the average for the class was 85%. And for maths, the average was 50%. So you got 73. So you're way above average. So as you can see there, just looking at a score or an simple or an interest rate doesn't exactly tell you which one's better or not. In terms of interest rates, we need to convert them to something called effective interest rates. The effective interest rates, so I'm going to call that effective interest rates. Interest rates are used to compare which is better. So just to take a note, for an investment, which is you putting money into the bank, the higher is better. Higher is better. Because the higher the rate, the higher the money. The higher the rate, the more money you get. For a loan, you want lower is better. Okay, because remember, for a loan, you need to pay back interest. So obviously you want the interest rate to be lower so you don't pay so much money back. Okay. Alright, so what I mean by that is, let's say Bank A gives you 3.5% per year and Bank B gives you let's say 3% per month. Okay. So you don't know which one's better at the moment because you're just looking at the numbers there. So 3.5% per year obviously looks a bit better because it's 3.5% every year and the percentage is higher. However, 3.3% per month, that's doing it every month, and technically the second one should be better, because if it's 3.3% per month, how much would you be getting per year? Well, if you think about it, it's 3.3 times 12 in a way. So technically you're getting 39%, if you're looking at it simply. Okay, but that's the problem we have. Just looking at the nominal interest rates given to us is not always the best to compare. So what we need to do is convert them to what we call the effective interest rate. There's an example here. Let's have a quick look. Okay, if you have the book in front of you, you can look at it, or you can look at the computer screen. Hopefully it's big enough for you to look at. But they've got three different types of interests here. Now they've got the 4.8% per year, per annum. It's per year. So all you have to do is 4.8% of the 5,000, and you end up having $5,240 at the end of the year. So that 4.8% is charged once. Okay, so it goes from 5,000 all the way to $5,240. It's charged once. However, if you look at the second one, it's only 1.2% per quarter. Now there's 4 quarters in a year, and 1.25%, okay, if we multiply it by 4, so 1.2 times 4, we go back to the 4.8% per quarter. However, we're doing it every quarter. We're doing it 4 times within the year. Okay, so if you look at it, we go 1.25% of 5,000 gives us 5,060, and then you do 1.2% of this, and that gives you 5,120. And if you keep doing that, you realize that you actually get more money. You get $244.35. So even though we're doing it 1.2% per quarter, which equals to 4.8% in a year anyway, because we're doing it 4 times, you actually get more money because we're compounding it, or we're applying it more often. And then if you look at this one, this is 0.4% per month. So we're doing it every month, but the interest rate is dropped to 0.4%. Well, if you look at the maths, 0.4 times 12 is still 4.8. So technically all of these are 4.8% per year, but we're compounding it differently. We're applying it at a more, I think the word is more common, more occurrence. We're doing it more anyway. Okay, so with the 0.4, we're doing 0.4% of 5,000, which is 5,020. Now you may look at it and go initially, oh, that's not a lot of money, but you're doing it every month, and if you keep doing it every month, and you can compare it yourself. Yeah, there's 5,060, but if we're doing it 0.4% per month, we end up with $5,060.24. Now, 24 cents might look like a lot, very little to you, but this is doing it every month for a year. Imagine if you did this every month for 10 years. You end up with a lot more money than if you just did it at 4.8% per year for 10 years. Okay, so that's why you need to be smart when you get out into the world. Okay, don't look at just the numbers. Okay, the numbers are lies. Look at all the information. Gather as much information as you can before you make a decision in terms of banks and investments and money. Okay, you do have to be smart. Money isn't. No, not money. Maths isn't just about teaching you how to do the numbers and the maths. It's trying to make you think and be smart about it and be smart about the world. Okay. Alright, I went off topic. Now, we don't need you to use the effective interest rate formula. Okay, so do not use the formula. We've actually scrapped it in year 12 because they don't use it anymore. However, we do use something on the CAS calculator. And here it is. Okay, so I would like you to copy out, what page is this? Page 295. Page 295. You need to copy out the CAS steps for me, please. I will run through the CAS steps now. Okay, and it's very, very straightforward. Okay, now remember the CAS steps are for effective interest rates, or converting it from nominal to effective interest rates. If you're just trying to convert a nominal interest rate or per year to monthly, you just need to take the interest rate and divide by 12 or 26 for fortnight or for 4. Okay, so there's a difference between converting nominal interest rates to compounding interest rates, okay, versus converting nominal interest rates to effective interest rates. Okay. Alright, got my calculator up. Okay, let's look at this first question here. Marissa has $10,000 to invest. She chooses an account that will earn compound interest at the rate of 4.5% per annum, compounding monthly. Use a CAS calculator to find the effective rate for this investment. Okay, so you go to calculator, you look at what they've done, which is menu, finance, interest conversion, and effective interest rate. And here you can type 4.5 comma 12 and hit enter, and there it is. So the effective interest rate is 4.594, and that's it. Make sure you can round to 3 decimal places. We've gone through that already. And that's about it. In terms of the questions, I'd like you to do 1 to 7. The first part is pretty straightforward. The middle part is just you converting to effective annual interest rates. And then the bottom part is just a little bit more applied. So you'll be, talking about effective interest rates and things like that. Yes, here. Let's look at this one here. I don't think I've gone over this. 7.5% per annum compounding every 6 months. Now you're doing it every 6 months, which means how many times are you going to do it all together in the year if you're doing it every 6 months? Don't know if anyone's got a reply for me, but oh, someone replied. Let's see. Two. That's correct, Ralph. Thank you very much. If you're doing something every 6 months, within the year you're doing it 2 times. I don't think I've put that on my list, and I don't think the textbook has it as well, but I'll write it here. They do trick you sometimes. Well, not trick you, but they put in something like that because they want you to think. So every 6, I forgot what it was, every six months. Okay. They can also call it half yearly. Okay. So for that, it is 2 times. Okay. So that one, they don't put in the books for some reason, but they do rarely use it in the exams. But they pop it in once in a while, and I think it's good because it makes you think. Alright, that's about it. If you do finish 8G, please go back and summarize all your notes for the rest of the exercise. I will probably do a summary. Do we have class tomorrow? Let me have a look. I will probably do a summary next lesson, which is not tomorrow, which is Monday. I'll do a summary on Monday. So Monday will be a catch-up lesson. Tuesday we don't have class. Hopefully we'll be back next week, which is the earliest is the Thursday. I'll give you practice SAC chapter review, and then we'll probably run our SAC the 29th of July. Probably. I'll let you know. But that's about it. Thank you very much. If you need any help, once again, please email me or message me on Teams. And I'll stress this at the end of every lesson, especially to my Year 10 methods, my Year 11 class, and my Year 12 class. If you don't know how to do something, you need to ask. Okay, it is no longer acceptable for you to sit there and not do anything and go, I don't know how to do it. because I will end up just failing you. No mercy. Alright, thank you very much. Off you go.